Bundee Aki has been suspended for 6 weeks for verbally abusing and disrespecting the referees during the game on the weekend for Connacht in the URC. Does Ireland have an issue with dissent and talking back to the referee and just giving him a bit of shit? Because it's not the first time it's happened. It's actually not the first time Bundy's done it. So, I mean, we all remember Johnny Sexton back in 2023 when he wasn't even playing and he came down after the game and got on the ref's face and gave him a bit of shit. That was pretty famous. He got banned, I think, 3 weeks, but nothing much was said from Irish Rugby. Bundee Aki back in 2017 also did a similar thing. He got banned for 3 weeks for abusing the refs, and that played into his 6-week ban this time because he'd obviously done it in the past, so it did not look good. Another one was Mac Hansen back in 2024, 3-game ban. To be fair to Mac, it was slightly different. He did it in after-game presser. He just spoke at length about the lack of calls going their way, seeing the refs were kind of against them, and he just had a bit of a moan and a whinge. It wasn't similar, in my opinion, but still, he got banned for 3 games. And now we've gotten to Bundee, and thankfully, for the Irish Rugby Football Union's sake, they got ahead of it. They suspended him, and it looks like they're going to try to make a bit of a statement around this and not basically put up with it anymore. So that's good. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Bundee when he is available for selection again. Does he get straight back into the team? He's 36 years old and he hasn't looked like the player that he was back in the 2023 World Cup since the 2023 World Cup. So he's still a very good centre, but he just doesn't have the same impact on games. He's getting old. His legs are running out. So maybe this is a silver lining. Maybe your hand is forced now. Well, it is because they've called up Jude Postlewaite, I believe. So, yeah, Andy Farrell's hand has been forced to test out the depth and to bring someone else through. And that is probably the best thing for the Irish backline right now. Now, let's have a look at a Bundee Aki article because I want to draw a couple of comparisons from 2 different incidents and see what you guys think. So here we go. Bundee Aki banned for 6 weeks. On top of that, they've also lost Hugo Keenan to a thumb injury. So the backline's looking a bit thin. They had to call in some replacements. They're going to have to test the depth. Again, I think it's a good thing. It's happening now than in a year and a half time leading into a World Cup. So 6-week ban, found guilty of verbally abusing and disrespecting a match official in the URC game. Now, he's going to miss 4 games in total, 1 URC game, and then 3 Six Nations games. France, Italy, and England. Now, no disrespect to Italy, but I think, England and France are the 2 big ones there. They're probably 2 of the toughest games in world rugby at the moment, and definitely the toughest in the Six Nations. And that's going to decide probably who wins the Six Nations. It's definitely going to decide what happens with Ireland and where they finish. Now, in terms of impactful suspensions, they don't come much more impactful than that. You're missing 2 of the biggest games of the year. And I don't have a problem with that. You do the crime, you do the time. It is what it is. Now let's turn our attention to this big fella, big Eben Etzebeth. And as most of you will remember, he was banned for 12 weeks after the last game of the season against Wales for intentionally, keyword intentionally, eye gouging Alex Mann. Now, that 18-week ban originally was reduced to 12 due to his good record. And during the process, though, they, as I said, found it to be intentional, intent to injure. Make of that what you will. A lot of people thought it was very lenient. Some people thought it was spot on. Most of the people thought it was spot on. I guess are probably South African fans. Whatever you think, let's have a look at the games that he's missing, because when we talk about suspensions, we talk about length as the determining factor as to how bad a punishment is. A 12-week ban is significantly worse than a 6-week ban, right? But then when you look at this, there's 12 URC games there. Well, mostly, right? There's not one Springbok game in that list of fixtures that Etzebeth will miss. When you compare that to Bundee's, Bundee, it's significantly worse. So I don't think there's a way around this. It is what happens. It's the luck of the draw. It's if you are a naughty boy at a certain time of the year, you're probably going to get a more lenient and a better punishment purely based on the games that you have coming up. But to miss no international games when you committed an offence in an international game is pretty rough. When Bundee Aki is going to miss 3 of the biggest games of his season for basically calling the ref a dickhead. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, guys. I'm sorry if I upset some Irish fans or South Africans. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. And we have officially less than 1 week to go until the kickoff of the Six Nations, and I'm pumped. I'm a Kiwi that's all about the All Blacks, but there's still not many better spectacles and atmospheres in a Six Nations game. Just watching the national anthems gives me goosebumps every time, so I'm super pumped. Yeah, have a good weekend, guys, and I'll catch you next week.